Now, those of you who spend time with small children know how often there are a lot of questions like, why is the sky blue? How come dogs and cats are not good friends? Why do tigers have stripes?
Lots of things. Why, Mommy? Why, Mommy? Why, Mommy? Why, Mommy? Why? Oh.
But for anybody who has lived near the ocean, on an island or on the coast, you know, one of the most important questions always to ask is,
why is the sea so salty?
Now, it turns out many cultures around the world have come up with, well, there are story answers for that, and there's stories that are told in Australia, in Scandinavia, all over the
planet, whole globe. Anywhere where there's salt water, the question is asked.
But today we are going to tell you a version of the story that comes to us from the Philippines. Once upon a time, a long time ago, in the Philippine Islands, there was a very happy family, and there were two sons.
Usually two or three. We got two this time. Yeah.
There's two this time. There was the older son, Risoldo.
Yes, yes. I like the finer things in life.
He was older. And then there was the younger son,
Bethany. He was a more of a timid kind of a guy. He didn't like to push his opinions on people or get in the way or just cause problems at all. He was very cutie on the low down.
You know, he was younger. But their father, well, wanted peace and harmony in the family and announced, you know, boys, when I die, I want you to split things 50-50 down the middle.
You're right. He had a beautiful empire. He had, you know, a couple of fishing boats and a nice house. So it was a lot of money to spare. But sharing didn't happen.
He died, and, well, the boys quickly, figured out what they were going to
do. You see, Risoldo, he took it upon himself to take the entire fortune on his own. And he just took it from his younger brother. He went out and bought himself a fleet of fishing boats and built a nice house for his wife and children, and he was doing quite well for himself. While he's feckless. He doesn't know how to take care of himself. He's just living in poverty. He and his family barely have enough to get by.
Well, but he was hardworking, and, well, every day he would put on his hat and he would go out to fish. But he wasn't actually that good of a fisher. And so one particular day, actually it was New Year's Eve. Now you'd be interested in knowing, almost all of these stories happen either on New Year's Eve or Christmas Eve. We don't know why, but this was a New Year's Eve one. And he was walking, he was so discouraged.
He hadn't caught a fish all day. He was going to go home empty-handed to his hungry family.
So he was walking along, thinking, what am I going to tell them that there is nothing for a New Year's feast? And he was walking along, not even paying any attention, and just about bumped right into...
Excuse me.
Sir.
What are you doing out this time of day?
Well, I'm trying to go home, but it's so discouraging. You see,
yes.
I was out fishing all day, caught nothing. Nothing for my family. I'm so sad.
Go home empty-handed. Well, lad, I think I have an opportunity for you.
An opportunity?
Yes. First, I must ask what happens. What is a door, not a door?
What is a door, not a door?
Yes, it's a jar. This is a jar for you. Yes, that jar is now your gift. This is your opportunity here to feed your family.
Thank you. Wait, I don't get it. What? Thank you. I mean,
it's a magic jar. It's a magic jar.
It's a magic.
Yes, it's a
magic jar.
Yes. Oh, now here's how the jar works. You see, when you want something, anything you want, all you have to do is ask the jar, and the jar will give you what it is you want.
Just ask the jar.
Just ask the jar, but be careful. Only ask for what it is you need. And as soon as you have what you need, then you must say to the jar, "Stop, jar."
Okay, only ask for what I need.
Only ask for what you need.
And then say,
Stop jar. That is correct. And it will provide for you.
Okay. Well, you know, he'd never received a magic jar before, but he almost ran home and he called his wife and children and said, "You guys, come on in. I have something really wonderful to show you. I have a jar."
And he set it down in front of his family on the table there, and he was so excited to show his family what this jar could do.
Here we go. Watch. Jar, can I please have some fish?
And there, right there in the jar, a fish appeared, and then another fish, and then another fish. And soon it looked like there was ample fish for his entire family for the evening. So he said,
"Stop, jar. Thank you very much."
But the fish alone, you know, you need a little spice it up. Salt.
Jar, can I please have some salt, please?
Oh, yes, and the jar began to fill up with salt and fill up with salt until there was plenty.
That's plenty. Okay, stop, jar. Woo-hoo! Oh, this was fabulous. The problems with the family were just solved. This was so good. And so this went on for a while into the new year. Every time somebody needed something, they went over, politely asked. As soon as they had exactly what they needed, no need to be greedy, they stopped. Well,
one day Rizaldo was just about on one of his fishing boats, traveling around the many islands, and he thought, I'll stop by and visit my brother Bethany. I happened to be in the neighborhood. So he pulled his boat up to the shore and got out and started walking towards his brother's house.
Then he noticed, I peeked in the window, and his brother was holding a jar and appeared to be talking to it.
What's wrong with that fool? Is it sad boy talking to a jar? What kind of an idiot talks to a jar?
Can I have some salt, please? And there was, stop, thank you.
Oh, I can't believe it, a magic jar. I can't believe my own brother has a magic jar. He's the younger brother and he's a fool. Look, he's living in poverty. He doesn't even know what to do with a magic jar. Brother!
Rizaldo.
What is this? What is this? What do you have?
It's my jar.
It looked like a magic jar to me. You have no use of a magic jar. I should have the magic jar. I am a smart businessman. I can take that jar. Oh, I can get piles and piles of salt and turn it into piles and piles of money. I'll be even richer than I am now. So give me the jar. I am the older.
But he remembered the warning he got that said, you know what? Only ask for what you need and then stop. He said, oh, my brother's so greedy. He will not be able to go. And he decided for once in his life, he was going to set a boundary. I'm sorry, my brother. No, you cannot have that jar.
What? You're saying no to me?
Yes.
You never said no to me.
Well, it's time. You cannot have the jar. I'm sorry. So, he left and he was so, steam was coming out of his ears. He was so angry. He was trying to figure out what in the world to do. And then about halfway home, he got an idea.
Oh, that brother is a fool not to use that jar to its maximum potential. Such a fool that I could just steal that jar right out from underneath him and he'd never even see it coming. That's what I'll do. I'll steal the jar.
So, after midnight, he got back in his boat, rowed back on over, and he sneaked right up in the moonlit night, went right up to Bethany's house, and came right in. He saw there on the table that beautiful jar, and he went and he snatched it. He went out as fast as he could, as quiet as he could, and he went and hopped in his boat. Now, most people would have gone home, but he was so excited and so greedy that he stopped rowing out in the middle of the water.
All right, I'm going to try this out. This looks amazing. All right, jar, I want salt. Give me salt.
And the salt started coming, just like he had seen. It came and it came and it came and it got to the top of the jar. But Rosaldo, the greedy man, didn't stop yet. He was just watching, and he was
This is
imagining,
incredible. I'm going to have so much money to sell piles and piles of salt. I'll be rich forever. But there's too much salt.
it started going in it, and it filled the bottom
Jar,
of the boat.
I've got enough salt now. No, this is too heavy, Jar. Hey!
And it got up to his chest, and he was
Jar,
realizing
cut it out!
too
Cut it out!
heavy. And before he knew it, it just fell right through the bottom of that boat. And
The boat sank down, and the jar sank down even further into the bottom of the ocean, making salt all the way, and still making salt to this very day.
now, some people say he swam and got free at the shore. Some people say he was eaten by a shark. I kind of prefer that story. But what we didn't know was, to this very day, the salt continues to come out of the jar, and it mixes with all of that water, and so that has brought to us what we now know as
The Atlantic, the Pacific, all the seas and oceans of the world, all the salty seas came from the magic jar.
And the man who knew, you can ask for what it is you want, what it is you need, but when you have enough,
You say stop. Yes.
and that's the story of the magic jar and why the sea is salty.